Hello, hello. Welcome, my friends, to another episode of Call Me Crazy with Shiri Gabriel. I'm so excited today because I get to talk to you about a topic that has been on my mind for quite a few months now since we're working on this retreat. And you know the topic, you know what it is because you've heard me talk about it. It is the topic of reinvention. It is about that thing, that we all crave when we feel stuck, frustrated, or just a little lost. That idea of starting a new chapter. So, whether you're thinking about switching careers, starting a new project, or just taking a leap into something unknown, reinvention can be both exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. I get that. I've been there many times. But here's the thing. Life at its core, it's a journey. It's not about hitting that one final destination, achieving just that one goal. It's about the stops you make, the detours that you take, the growth that you experience, and yes, sometimes the failures. So today, I want to unpack all of this and also ask you a very important question. Listen carefully. What is this change going to cost you? And more importantly, what is it going to make you?
Get ready for a new episode of Call Me Crazy with Shiri Gabriel.
Okay, so let's start by taking this idea of life being a journey. We all have this in our minds that if we're going to start something new, we have to start from scratch. That could not be further from the truth. You see, you never really start from zero. You decide to reinvent yourself, you're not starting from scratch or from zero. You're not. Whether you're making a career shift or moving to a new personal chapter or ending a relationship, you're bringing with you a lifetime of experiences, a lifetime of skills and lessons. So often we get stuck thinking we've wasted time or energy on the wrong path. But every experience, good or bad or neutral, shapes who you are and what you're capable of. Think about it. You might feel like you're closing the door on one chapter. But the beauty of life is that the skills, the relationships, the wisdom you've accumulated so far is going to come with you into this next chapter. That is, listen to what I'm going to say, that is the fuel for your reinvention. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. And that makes all the difference, doesn't it? Now, I want to dig into something that's been on my mind a lot lately. I've been having conversations with people around this, and it is the idea of calculating the cost of change versus what it will make you. So, whenever we think about a new chapter, whether that's reinventing your career, pursuing a passion, or taking just a personal leap, the first thing we tend to focus on is the cost. And yes, there is a cost to change, absolutely. The cost might be around time, money, or just the security of staying in your comfort zone. Maybe it will cost you sacrifices, like saying no to social events, going out with friends, or even to some relationships that aren't serving you and they're not serving your future vision and what you want to achieve. That's real. But here's the thing. What will this change make you? I'm going to repeat that. What will this change make you? What will you gain on the other side of that discomfort? Reinvention isn't just about your giving up. It's about what you're stepping into. That's the part that people often overlook. The new opportunities, the personal growth, the sense of fulfillment, those are the makes that outweigh the costs. So when I work with people on this aspect of reinvention and starting a new chapter and networking, I always say, think about this new chapter and think about what is it going to give you. Sure, you're going to lose some things along the way. I already established that. But the question is, what kind of person will you become as a result of those losses? What new strengths will you discover? What new experiences will open up? Will the payoff be worth it? I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she said something that really stuck with me. She said, I'm afraid of what I'll lose if I make this change. I totally get that. I've been there. I've felt that. I've gone through that myself. Because guess what? Change is uncomfortable. It is scary. The thing is, though, if you don't make the change, what is it going to cost you? What opportunities are you leaving on the table? What version of yourself will you never meet? I'm going to repeat this. What version of yourself will you never meet? Wouldn't you love to meet that version of you? Because it's within you, it's inside you. Don't you want her or him to come out? So I want you to sit with that for a second. Just sit with that. Because sometimes staying the same comes at a greater cost than the leap itself. Reinvention is a series of intentional decisions. You need to decide that you're ready and you want to change. And this intentional decision, this is where you have to weigh what you're willing to invest, what you're willing to sacrifice versus what you're hoping to become. And this doesn't just apply to career moves. I'm not just talking about career moves. It could be about your health. It could be about your relationships or your creative passions. Every new chapter requires a certain level of sacrifice, but every sacrifice has a potential to bring you closer to the person you were meant to be. So how do we start? How do you start? I'm going to give you some practical steps that you can take to make your reinvention a reality. Okay, something that you can start with. And remember, this is a journey. It's not going to happen over time. But first of all, and this is something that I talk about a lot, I think I give you this as a first step to everything: self-reflection. Take some time to evaluate where you are right now. What feels out of alignment in your life? What's nagging at you? What is that thing that you've been wanting to do for the longest time and you haven't gotten to it? This clarity is key because it tells you where the reinvention needs to happen. That's number one, self-reflection. Next, set your vision. And I'm actually working on that with my coach right now. What does the next chapter look like for you? Writing it down, painting a picture, doing a vision board. The more clear you are on what you want to become, the easier it is to make the decisions that are in line with that future self. Focus on small wins. You really need to focus on those small wins. Reinvention doesn't happen overnight. I told you that already. You need to start small. What is one thing you can do today that will move you closer to your new vision? Maybe it is by listening to my podcast and listening to this and letting it sink in. Maybe it's networking. Maybe it's improving your communication skills or simply educating yourself on the next steps. Small actions compound into big changes. We live in a society where we want to go from 0 to 100 like that. It's not going to happen. It's a journey. It's small steps. Every small step that you take, every day that passes where you feel that you're improving 1% more will take you closer and closer to that next chapter. The last thing is embracing the cost. Understand that change will cost you something. It will. But focus on what you will gain in return. It's not just about what you give up. It's about who you become in the process. So to wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this. Life is a journey, and reinvention is part of that journey. It's not a fresh start, but it's a continuation where you take all the experiences, all the strengths, all the lessons into something new. Yes, where there will be sacrifices, but you gain on the other side. What you make of this is far more valuable. Who you become in the process is priceless. So next time you're faced with change, don't just ask, what is it going to cost me? Instead, ask yourself, what is it going to make me? If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need a little nudge towards their own reinvention. Most importantly, I shared with many of you the reinvention retreat that we're having February 7th to the 9th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm going to put the details at the bottom of this podcast. So if you or anyone that you know would like to join us on that retreat, please let me know. And as always, don't be afraid to take that leap. Your next chapter is waiting for you.
This has been another episode of Call Me Crazy with Shiri Gabriel. Make sure to join in next week for a new episode. And if you would like to contact Miss Gabriel about speaking or training at your next conference, function, or event, visit shiri.coach.